everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all staying safe and well. Welcome to my film and TV channel. Today we have a movie review, and it's quite a big budget one, this one, $100 million. So what do we get for our money? We've not seen many big budget films being released recently, but this has had a little theatrical release, and obviously will then be appearing on Netflix at some stage, so I'll give you the information anyway as we're going through this. So today we're going to look at a science fiction film. Well, I do like science fiction. The Midnight Sky we're going to have a look at today. Please push that subscribe button if you're not already done so. If you're new to the channel, that'd be fantastic. Make sure if you put your notifications on, make sure they're set to public as well if you like to know when these things are come out. As you know, I do TV drama reviews, I do film reviews, poster movie battles, quizzes, etc. on this channel, the film and TV channel. And you'll also notice on the playlist I do vlogs on my football team, Manchester City, as well. So if you or anyone you know is interested in City history and City present, what's going on now, and even quizzes on City as well on a regular basis. So if you might be interested in that or know somebody who might be, please give them a push as well and get them to, if they can subscribe and like the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. And please just check my links as well on Facebook and Twitter. So if you want any followers, or I'll reciprocate. I'll check every couple of days. So if you want any friends or followers, just stick us on there. Just check it out. Stick us on there, and I do check every couple of days and follow and friend everyone back who's on there. So if you're after some, I will do that. And obviously I will then, if you're on Twitter, I'll retweet stuff for you and things like that. If that's all right with you. Okay, right, here we go. The Midnight Sky. Yeah, PG-13 or a PG. It's obviously that's the USA thing, isn't it? PG-13. 122 minutes, just over 2 hours, but the runtime's about 111 minutes. So you lose obviously 11 minutes for credits, etc., etc. Of course, this is directed by George Clooney. It's nice to see George Clooney back. Based on the novel Good Morning Midnight by Lily Brooks Dalton. I believe it's not too bad. You know, obviously when you get these novels, you look at adaptations, you get a lot of people saying, oh, it's not, the book's far better, blah, blah, blah. But I believe this is not a bad adaptation of the book. So I'm told, as I say, I've not read the book. Would I go back and read the book based on this film? Probably not. And I can't, obviously I like to do that sometimes. Sometimes there are books I will go back and read once I've watched the film based on them. And it does star Clooney himself, of course, in the lead role. Felicity Jones, David Oyelowo, Tiffany Boone, Demian Bichir, Kyle Chandler and Kaylin Springall. And it's a post-apocalyptic tale, so that's what we need in this COVID days, isn't it? That follows Augustine, a lonely scientist in the Arctic, of course, played by Clooney, as he races to stop Sully and her fellow astronauts, these are on a big spaceship flying around, from returning home to a mysterious global catastrophe. Where they've been and what they've been doing, we sort of find out, but not totally. Yeah, I mean, the Midnight Sky began a limited theatrical release on December the 11th, 2020. So as I'm recording this 4 or 5 days ago, before it will now appear on Netflix on December the 23rd. I'm sure that's Netflix worldwide. Sometimes, obviously here in the UK, you get to see that something's on Netflix and you check it and it's not on, because obviously it doesn't, different territories. So please check your Netflix wherever you are anyway. Is it any good? Well, Rotten Tomatoes is only getting a 56% average based on 81 critics. That's 5.9 out of 10, which isn't fantastic. For just under that magic watchable 6 out of 10, isn't it? 45 fresh reviews and 36 rotten. So even though there's more fresh, obviously there's a fair quantity of rotten reviews in that as well. And the consensus on Rotten Tomatoes: The Midnight Sky lacks a dramatic heft to match its narrative scale, but its flaws are often balanced by thoughtful themes and poignant performance from director star George Clooney. Yeah, he does a good job. Rotten Tomatoes audience, yeah, they're not overly impressed. It's just 24 guys have left a score, and it's only getting 42%. So the audience is probably worse than the critics there, which can't always be said. The Metacritic site, they're only 56%. So again, under that magic 6, and that's based on 24 critics leaving reviews, and it scores anywhere between as low as 3 out of 10 and 7.5 out of 10. The Telegraph's Robbie Collin, he didn't like it very much. He gave it 4 out of 10. It's a project driven by ideas, but made for a mass market audience, which are always welcome in principle. The problem here is the good ideas are all extremely familiar, and the handful of new ones aren't much to write home about. Not a bad little critique. Entertainment Weekly's Leah Greenblatt liked it a little bit more though. She gave it 7.5 out of 10 and said, there are several arresting visual set pieces, and there's the more ordinary pleasure too of seeing this many good actors snug and earnest in their jumpsuits go to work. But the film often feels less like its own distinct narrative than a sort of greatest hits amalgam of movies like The Martian, I like that, Gravity, that was okay, Interstellar, that was okay, Ad Astra, that was okay, and all the others that came before. So there you go, Leah Greenblatt. I mean, it's quite a high mark for not the most enthusiastic review there, but she gave it 7.5 out of 10 anyway. Internet Movie Database, here we go. Joe Public, you, me, the normal watchers, 338 scores as I'm recording this. 5.2 out of 10, so again, in line more or less with Rotten Tomatoes, isn't it? So it's nowhere near the magical 6 out of 10. Some of the headlines on the written reviews that have been left, there's not many written reviews left. Boring story, great concepts of space, major disappointment, boring marathon viewing, what was that, question mark. The whole is not as good as the sum of its parts, especially when the good parts are all pilfered from other films. And someone else wrote poor. And we did have a couple of positives. Best picture contender and entertaining enough. Well, that was a positive, wasn't it? Entertaining enough. I mean, it's not exactly gushing, but I mean, that'll do. Yeah, my little thoughts, Bernard's thoughts on this. Well, yeah, I mean, $100 million budget. So there you go. You get 2 hours thrust in your face, don't you? It has to justify its budget, I suppose. Sadly, there's not enough in this to fill the time and sort of keep you gripped. So, to be honest with you, keep you really interested for the vast majority of it. Perhaps some of the 2 hours could have been spent giving us backstories to the event in quotation mark, which obviously has happened to the Earth. And some of the actors, we need to know a little bit more about them, perhaps, so that we actually give a jot if something catastrophic happens to any of them. Because obviously, what's the point? I mean, if you don't care for them, you don't care for the actors, you don't care for the planet, you don't care for anything. Why? You've got to be influenced, you've got to be affected by what happens on screen. So it's a shame in the 2 hours you don't sort of get to know. You do with one or two of the characters, but eventually. But obviously, most of the characters you don't really get to know them at all, and it just lacks something. I mean, I enjoy a good science fiction. But sometimes they do, and some of the more modern ones seem to get, in those we mentioned before, get a little bit bogged down in looking pretty and authentic and forget that there has to be a story in there and we have to be entertained. I watch a film to be entertained, to get, to be taken out of my mundane world, when I'm working all the hours. I want to be entertained and enthralled and feel emotion, not happy, sadness, whatever. But they seem to forget it sometimes with these science fiction films, and it's all about the big spaceship and what's happening, and it doesn't quite work on the small screen. This did have a theatrical release, but obviously it's mainly aimed at Netflix due to the circumstances, and perhaps they forget there's got to be a little bit of a story as well. I have no doubt on its limited release at the cinema. It looked better, but there was one guy I did read say it didn't really make that much difference whether he watched it on a small screen or a big screen. He wasn't overly impressed with the effects. But I think a lot of people will get bored before the sort of special effects bits kick in anyway. There's a lot of snow at the start, and that's about it. Clooney does a good job. Yeah, I mean, he does a good job being, acting. Good acting by Clooney in a miserable sort of dour way. Cinematography, as I said, is okay for the money spent, but as stated by other critiques, I think that I read out before, the story sort of nicked from others, which is fine. I mean, obviously we can't be brand new, can we? But they need to put a new spin on things, and it's all a little too obvious. I mean, there's a couple of things happened in it that I saw coming a mile off, and it all becomes a little bit obvious and predictable. And the negative is that we're only ever told a small part of the overall story, and it's like a 300-page novel that with half the pages missing, which so you can catch bits of it and make things in your mind, but it just doesn't quite live up to the expectation, because I was quite looking forward to this when I heard of its release, and it did get one or two okay reviews. Someone said disappointing earlier. They were disappointed, didn't they? I mean, yeah, I think I just echo that. I was very disappointed with this movie. So my score for I forgot what it's called now. It's that good, The Midnight Sky. My score for The Midnight Sky, well, I'm only going to give it 5 out of 10. I'm not even going to give it my sit on the fence score of 5.5. I mean, obviously, I would suggest you watch it. 5 out of 10's okay. It's not a total disaster, but yeah, I do. It's one of those that I could easily do other things while I was watching it. I wasn't overly impressed at all. The poster, yeah, well, the poster's better than the film, but that doesn't say much, does it? But yeah, it's okay if you like Clooney. It's not a bad poster with the planet in the background, but yeah, I'll give the poster victory today, but only a 5.5 out of 10. I'm not going to go anything mad because it didn't really have a lot to beat, did it, to be honest with you? So the movie poster battle today, the poster wins it. 5.5 out of 10 for the poster and just 5 out of 10 for the movie. Let me know in your comments then if you get to see this or you want to watch it or you're going to watch it on Netflix when it comes out in towards Christmas time, 23rd of December, if you're watching this before then. So let me know what you think anyway. That'll be absolutely fantastic. Anyway, thanks for watching today. Whatever you're going to do the rest of the day, have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your family. More importantly, let's all look after each other. And until we meet again here on the Film and TV channel, or perhaps you flit over to my football channel, please, everyone, stay safe. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.